Hi, I'm Heidi from StoneGnome.com. I hope you will join me for a little cowl and make an infinity scarf with me. This is the last video in this cowl. I will show you how to make a bold border that can be used for a lot more than this scarf. If you're working on a big version of this scarf, you might not be ready to do the border yet. It might take a couple of weeks before you get there. But some of you might be working on a medium-sized scarf, and I also promised to show you how to do this final border today. The border here is flexible, just like the border we made in the beginning. It's actually also made in the same way, but it might be easier to make it here in the end of the scarf. So I'll show you how to do that. Here is my sample of the basic stitch pattern, which is the same as the last rounds of this scarf. The border here can be made in any pattern where you can identify places to insert the hook. So what we're going to do is to actually make slip stitches in each of the stitches all the way around, and this is also what some call surface crochet. When we insert the hook into the first stitch here, the first stitch of the round, then we insert the hook as if doing a waistcoat stitch, and that is just to maintain the pattern that we had here. So I'll just make a slip stitch. When we insert the hook in a chain space, we simply just use a big hole here and insert the hook down there. So this is what we are going to do for the whole round here. We're doing surface crochet, and we are inserting the hook just as we did on the previous rounds. Now I came all the way around, and I've done my best to make these slip stitches here look similar to the top of the last round. Now I need to make this border more bold. I want it to take up a little bit more space. And to do that, we will add another round of slip stitches into the same stitches as we just did. So this is where it differs from surface crochet, where you usually do not do it in the same spot twice. When you make the second round here for the border, you can choose to stitch in, to hook in under the slip stitches, and that might be easier for most of you. Or you can choose to hook in from above the last round. Either way, you need to push the last round of slip stitches up or down so you can see what you are doing. And it's the same, I'm hooking in as I did in the last round, and then I'm doing slip stitches. And I'm also trying to have the same size of all the slip stitches and make them match the previous round. When you are done with the second round of slip stitches for the border, then hook in just once more, pick up a loop all the way through. Now cut the yarn end and pull it through the loop and then secure it. So I'll show you. Here we have the last round of regular stitches, and then we have 2 rounds of slip stitches that are made in the same into the same holes into the same stitches, and altogether this gives us a very bold border that adds a little bit of weight to the scarf. If you want to do this in the beginning of the scarf as well, if you didn't do the 2 rounds for the border in the beginning, then you can use the same technique here as well. You will have the chain row here, and you have done slip stitches and chains into that one. And then you just locate where you can hook in once per stitch here. And then you do slip stitches, 2 rounds of slip stitches all the way. I tried it, and this is what it looks like when you do slip stitches all the way on the beginning of the scarf. I hope you enjoy working with the waistcoat stitch patterns I've shown you in this cal, and I hope you get a feeling of how soft and drapey these can be. When you're done with your scarf, I would love to see it. Feel free to tag me on Instagram or post an image in my Facebook group. If you want to see more stitch patterns using the waistcoat stitch, then have a look at my blog. I have a theme there called split crochet. Split single crochet is another name for the waistcoat stitch. I've already made patterns for washcloths and a table runner, and more patterns are coming for a hat, a blanket, and so on. This was the last video in the StoneGnome Infinity Scarf Cal. The written pattern is ready and will be released in a few days. Look for it on my blog. You support my work when you buy this or any other of my patterns. And I can't wait to see what your scarf will look like. It would mean a lot to me if you shared it on Instagram or Facebook. If you need help, you can check the notes on my blog, stonegnome.com, or you can join my Facebook group, StoneGnome Crochet. You can subscribe below to follow me here on YouTube. Thank you for watching.